So just like Sandy Scoglin was able to take ordinary objects and put them in an environment where it was unexpected, I'm going to be asking the same thing of you. And on each one of these papers, there are objects that you would find here in the art room. Things like rubber bands or the potato peeler when we do pumpkins, or pipe cleaners, scissors, yarn, paper clips. But today what I want for you to do, and it's almost like the Scribble project in a way, I want for you to say, okay, this is string, but now I want you to reimagine it in a different place or with a different purpose. So it's not that I'm wanting you to try and find a face in this. It would be more like, where could it be in the world that this string would be looking like this and it would make sense. These, maybe I would turn these into a whole school of fish. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe I would take this and think of something else that this could be. Maybe little birds with beaks or something like that. Now, in order to make this convincing, we need to draw with detail. I have this one here, and I was almost thinking if it would be unexpected to have an ink bottle, and maybe I would turn it into something totally different. So something that I was starting to think about was to maybe make it look like there's a handle on it. Now, you're going to be sketching today, and notice when you sketch, it's almost like you're drawing in a way where you're like just kind of making little marks on the table. It's not like you're over here drawing really hard. No, 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 no. This little tip here, even on the Sharpie, if you push really hard on that, you're just going to destroy that poor little tip, which would be really, really sad. You want to be very, very light, and you're going to notice that if you are light, you're probably going to like your drawing even better. So I'm putting a little handle on here, and I can always come and shade it in, kind of like what we did with the nature drawings. I'm going to keep working here, and I'll get back to you. Okay, now that I've finished this, you'll notice that the photo kind of looks black and white with gray shadows, whereas now what I've drawn is just one thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this charcoal pencil. I want you to almost think of it as a regular pencil. The thing is this, once again, charcoal. This is just means that this right here on the end is actually wood that had been burned, and so it's just kind of like coal that you would find in a fire or something like that, the ash. And so now what I'd like for you to do is to add some shadows. So I already added shadows by doing what's called cross hatching. This is something that we started doing back when we were studying the nature studies, where you just make these little hatch marks back and forth. It just makes your artwork look a little fancier, and it gives it a shadow, and it's all something that you can just do with a Sharpie. But if I wanted to add a shadow to it with this, I can just use the side of my pencil to just kind of shade this in a little bit so that it almost looks like I did it with a photograph or something like that. So I'm just kind of shadowing this in. And then if you like, you can take a Q-tip and just kind of blend it a little. That's a little bit nicer than using your finger, so that your finger doesn't end up ruining everything. So if I were to continue, I would probably do it here on my petals, and maybe I would make this a little bit darker in the center. So I want you to have fun with this charcoal pencil. Do notice though that it sometimes can smear. It's not terrible, it's not as bad as pastels, but you may want to watch that a little bit as well. So I'm just going to keep working here, and then I'm excited to see what you guys are going to come up with today.